Hey. All right. I'm Jackie.
I'm Patty.
And that was quite the ending to that
was.
episode.
I feel like we should warn you that we're both getting over some pretty bad colds, so
If you hear us coughing, we're not pretending to be Cosima.
we're actually just sick.
actually sick. Yeah, that end. Oh my god, I can't deal. It's just I'm panicking a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of splotchy here and I'm freaking out because I just clones, okay? Clones and knives and alive.
Can we talk about how it's the first time that Helena and Sarah have ever hugged, and it's when they're both bloody and after they've both been tortured, and
no,
Helena's just killed the guy.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
No, we aren't.
Except that, thank you, Helena, for showing up and saving Sarah.
Indeed.
Kira,
yes, thank you.
How do you know all of these things?
Yeah, how do you know?
You've never met Cosima.
Auntie Cosima.
Never met Auntie Cosima, but you knew that's who Sarah was talking to. How did you know that? How? Terrifying.
Also, interesting history lesson on Lita and the Swan.
Yes.
That one I did not remember from my Greek history.
The only reason I know that is because I've seen so many theories, people talking about it since the season opener. Yeah. And, so I've been reading up on it a little bit, so I'm just trying to give you guys a better angle. Yeah, so I've been reading up on it in Tumblr and stuff, and Wikipedia and other sources that are maybe not hugely reliable. Ow, I just hit myself. Yeah, on the table.
We are trying to hook up a couple of our friends.
I know, we planned ahead this time. We got emails, and it's not working. But we'll figure it out, and we'll try until then.
We'll try it again.
Yeah.
I'll probably talk while Jackie's figuring it out.
It's okay, we'll both chat a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, why is Sarah still wearing those leather pants? I swear to God. You were just digging through Rachel's closet. I'm sure she or Daniel had a pair.
Well, not really the time to change.
Okay, but I'm assuming that Daniel was the boy toy.
Well, Daniel was the boy toy, okay? There's no other reason for him to be there and getting ready, and he knew where everything was. But, I mean, yeah, Sarah, you've had time to change your tops and stuff. Did we not? And at 8 point find a pair of pants that would have fit? Like, maybe sweatpants from Cal that would be a little more movable, sneaky, I don't know.
Less creaky. Because you move enough in leather.
Yeah.
And it creaks. And, yeah. So...
I'm mostly hung up on that. Also, the Helena thing. That was not the outcome I was expecting, but I think I'm happier with it than where I thought it was going.
Yeah, which was
this is still creepy, but like on the creep scale, like this.
It's slightly lower than what they were doing with the cow and
doing
that to Helena. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, I mean, okay, I thought that there was going to be interactions. And I'm glad that didn't happen, and I'm glad that there was no artificial insemination, and, like, this is mildly better. Still really creepy, but, like...
Mildly better.
Mildly better.
We're not saying it's good.
Okay.
Just, better. Just, if any of you weren't following Jordan's live tweeting of the episode, do yourself a favor and go look him up on Twitter, because that was... absolutely hilarious. He's got a great sense of humor. Before the episode started, he was answering fan questions.
Yes.
And
can someone please make that T-shirt that says transgressive lesbian spiral something
nerd spiral?
It was great. Whatever it was,
I'll look it up.
I need that. Everyone's gonna buy that.
Yeah,
seriously,
everyone is.
It would be amazing. I would buy 12. Then I'd have one for like 2 weeks. Hey,
Transgressive lesbian geek spiral.
Hey, I think we have a friend.
Ooh, we do have a friend. We have a friend coming in, everybody.
Hello, friend.
Hello,
What? Oh, there we go. It wasn't Skype.
Oh, I think, well, I don't know. It worked on email last time, but it was the email that was hooked up to her Skype, as far as I know, so I didn't know which way it went through. So.
Are we too far, or?
No, we were just discussing creep levels and how the things that happened to Helena were not as high up the creep scale as we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said to her. But it was still
We
creepy.
thought it was going to be the cow, but it was slightly lower than the cow. Like, it was
something
creepy,
worse
but
than
it
the
was
cow.
better-ish.
I don't know. It's still pretty high on the creep level for me. I mean, that's a matter of possession of one's body, right? Something that just came from her.
No, you guys need to introduce yourself before we go any further.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hold on, there's a pop-up message on our screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, we can see you better now. Yay. Are other people joining?
I don't know. Baker said
Baker might be coming.
Oops, we just said your whole name on internet. Sorry.
But this is other Brittany and Nina.
You can't see us pointing at them
No.
because Patty didn't put her hand high enough up, but we'll let them introduce themselves.
Oh, I'm Brittany.
Nina.
They're,
That's it.
they're done.
That's all you
guys.
get. All right.
These are our friends who are also huge Orphan Black fans.
Yeah, real life friends. Woohoo!
Yeah, we have them, guys. We have real life ones.
Surprise!
We don't just sit here and talk.
It's not just the two of us in our basement, but it's usually the two of us in our basement.
It's hilarious because we're all wearing glasses.
I know.
We are.
That was unplanned. Well, it's just necessary for all of us, I guess. But it was good. But usually you guys, well, not all, usually, but sometimes you wear contacts. So, I mean, it did work out nicely.
Yeah. Sorry, there's like a go on. So we keep, I don't know if Nina's looking at it. I keep looking at it. Sorry.
Well, it's because it's a French show, it's subs, so
I
eyes are drawn.
figured that was the right direction for a cat, so I figured there was a cat over there.
There's a cat there.
Yeah.
That was right. Ta-da!
Let's get our Orphan Black topic.
Yeah. So, okay, so Britt, I know you and I were chatting a little bit throughout the episode on Facebook chat, and so, I mean, I know a little bit of your reactions, but Patty wasn't really watching any of that because she was, you know.
I was watching TV.
She was watching TV. I was watching, like.
My major thing is that, like, Beth got cut exactly where, well, not even, wow, Sarah got cut where Beth's scar is, so she's totally gonna have the same scar as Beth, which is insane.
Which, now I wonder if Beth actually got that in a mountain biking accident. I think that was the original story. Or if there's something more to that scar that she has.
Oh, man. Oh.
Daniel Cotter. Who knows?
That's terrifying. Yeah, maybe that's how, oh my god, what if they planned Clone Club and they said, do you have to reach out to the other clones?
Why would they do that?
I don't know, because mostly Clone Club is like asking all their stuff. Because, what if they were trying to study their disease from a different aspect? So now they have someone that has the disease.
Maybe they'd had enough of singular clones and they wanted to see the clones in a group.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably. My big thing that I've been wondering about is yeah, like who figured it out first and who reached out to whom and how did this even happen? Because it's not exactly like you can just like post an image on the internet and say, "Do you look exactly like me? Please inspire."
I mean, personally, I think it probably started with Katya, because she's the one who reached out to Beth. Mm-hmm. And then that was how Beth knew to kind of look for other clones. So I'd really like to know what happened with the Euro clones for Katya to, like, realize that if there was, like, inadvertently a photo taken somewhere and she was, you know, her friend was like, why were you in France last weekend? And she's like, I wasn't in France, I was here. And then she's like, oh my god, this girl looks exactly like me. And
well, we know she was sick. Maybe she met one of the clones at a hospital.
That would imply more sick clones. I don't
yes,
like that.
It would.
I don't like that. That seems somewhat reasonable.
Well, maybe one of them was a doctor, and one of them found one of Helena's dead clones.
Dead
medical examiner. Holy shit!
Possibilities.
That would be like terrifying. Could you imagine? You're an ME, and someone's like, "Hey, we have this dead body." you'd like go to. Oh my god, that would mess you up. Would not be good. Sorry,
Basically, I'm a horrible person.
we get a little off topic.
I have a question for you. How did you feel about the VHS tape?
The VHS tape?
You made me cry a little.
I don't want to care about Rachel, but I care about little Rachel now because I want to know what happened that made her.
What
who
happened
she
to
is.
little Rachel who said, "I love you, Daddy," to be like the...
Well, her parents got blown up in a lab explosion.
Okay, well that doesn't excuse everything. God.
No, but I'm gonna say that was probably the turning point for her. Yeah, but
She could be like really distrusting. Like maybe she had a monitor before that she thought was like a boyfriend, and
yeah,
monitor.
Just because your parents blew up and your boyfriend was your monitor doesn't mean you're allowed to go around being the ice cream.
No, but I
Who
think it's
tortures
a
other
pretty
clones.
good reason. I mean, if you're gonna be a jerk, it's a pretty good reason to be a jerk. I think. I don't know, but
Allison's slowly headed down that path.
Rachel, where did you find a working VHS player?
Excuse me. I have 2 VCRs still.
I have one downstairs.
Yay!
Nina, did you give one to Rachel?
It's possible. We're in cahoots. I am a scientist.
All people who got the bob.
Yeah, you share a haircut. Ish.
Not right now. It's growing out.
Or
It's
just have to dye her hair blonde in her slowly.
just turn her into Rachel.
Nina wakes up tomorrow. What the hell did you do to me?
I'll have to improve my posture. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
As I slouch.
It's okay. I was doing that today.
Wow. You see that stare? Look at it. Look at it. It's so scary.
You need a little blazer right now. Just get a little blazer. And you care about.
Isn't corporate enough?
It's not angular enough.
No,
Not
it's too.
Support that's not in frame just doesn't work.
Nina's too cute.
Nina can be ferocious. Nina can do it.
Tiny and ferocious.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, the Lumber family, or Lumber Punk as they call it on Twitter. How cute were they?
I'm really concerned about Cal, though. There was some suspicious music going on.
Yeah, there was definitely some suspicious music. I turned to Nina and I was like, why is she just like leaving her kid? You better not be sketchy.
What corporation was that?
As soon as he was like, which corporation?
I was like, oh, this is
What?
Back
Why?
in Bears.
Yeah.
But,
And
the-
he was like evil.
but remember, someone was trying to buy his research, so maybe that's why he knows who Dyad is, if he knows who Dyad is.
Yeah, but as soon as he was like, oh, Dyad, it got like weird, creepy music.
Music. Like, I love the music on this show because it gives you hints about things, but right now I'm very distrusting of Cal, and I'm a little concerned that Kira's revealing some
Not
information.
gonna sway us with his beard.
And his plaid. Yeah, the beard and plaid combo is like, but no.
We will not be taken in by another pretty face like Paul.
Also, so can we talk about, did you guys see the preview for next week?
Yes.
Okay, so can we talk about how Paul is apparently getting with another clone?
Yeah, Rachel was like, oh.
That was implied earlier too, right? With like Rachel throwing herself at him about the flights and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Which
So
makes
it's implied that this has been going on for a while, and it's possible that Paul was just like two-timing Beth with Rachel, but then Sarah got in the mix because she was pretending to be Beth. Morally dubious.
Gross three-way.
Indirect.
Guys, we watched Archer right before this. We did that last
her mind is
week,
in a
too.
dirty
Yeah,
place.
we watched In the Flesh, so we were upset.
We were gonna watch something else, and then we were like, do we want two heavy things in a row? No, let's watch a silly show about spies and like inappropriate jokes. So that's what we did.
Yeah. And now,
Yeah.
appropriate jokes.
Well,
Yeah,
not so
so watched that shows about zombie.
Yeah, and before I got here, I was watching Unité 9, which is also like completely like desolate, basically. It's very depressing
Yeah.
drama.
Come on, guys. Yeah.
Not depressing. How badass is Mrs. S?
Oh my god! Okay, I have to say, even after the bird watchers, a little unexpected to me. A little bit.
She can get it.
Yeah. Mrs. S, you were looking good. Very good. I hope I look good.
One thing that I have to add about that too is like Sarah was super offended that Mrs. S was like hiding those details about is Carson his name? Carson? But Carlton. Thank you, Carlton. Okay, gotcha. Carlton. So but however, like she opened up the photo album in season 1 and like pointed directly at it. Like directly at the photo being like, remember Carlton? And so it's like if that wasn't, you know, a big like hitting you over the head with a hint, then I don't know what is.
That's true, and I kind of I guess, yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but it's true because they have mentioned him before, and it would be weird for her to remember him.
Because where they found the article was right behind the same photo that Mrs. S was seeing. Like, remember? Point, point.
On the other hand, remembering Colton, he was the guy that brought her to Mrs. S. Mrs. S was the first good thing in her life.
Yeah, but no, she's saying the article was like right behind the photo that Mrs. S was pointing out. Hey, Mrs. S.
I'm having a hard time believing that Mrs. S is anything but on Sarah's side, so.
Yeah, I refuse. No, fingers crossed. But, no, I have to say, just jumping sort of back to the Scar and Beth's Scar, this is like, I'm in denial that Beth is dead, so I'm like, well, maybe they're going to leave the Scar to other people, so maybe it's like, I don't know. And also, like, a weird place to kind of try and torture someone, Daniel.
Maybe it's his way of keeping track of them. Oh, I already found you.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, like, maybe he's, like, straight up, like, has serial killer tendencies.
I mean, the way he acts, yes, I totally see that as a viable thing, because he's a giant creep, but also there was a long-standing theory that the body that Rachel would see in the body bag in her bloody apartment was Daniel, so I'm really happy that turned out to be true and not Sarah, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little concerned.
How sad was that moment, though? Like, it's not even, like, it wasn't creepy or, I mean, we were laughing because, like, Sarah was legitimately terrified, like, the most terrified we've ever seen Sarah, but, like, that moment was kind of sweet, right?
It's kind of sweet.
Like, you just, like, feel bad for Helena, and she just, like, she wants love.
Sarah would have been a lot more comfortable if she put the knife down before hugging her.
Well, there's no way to hold a knife and not be creepy. That's been established.
I tried. They couldn't do it.
Just for anyone that's seen this
Plugging Canadian TV shows.
But also, I feel like Helena had a lot more blood on her dress than was necessary for killing Daniel, so I'm a little concerned about the guy that had just left Rachel's apartment.
Oh, on the other hand, our cereal spray.
That's true too.
That stuck to
You guys have, like, a fan on or something?
No.
Yes. Yours?
Oh, in the ceiling. Yes.
It's like a air conditioning slash the dryer.
Is it really obnoxious? I can turn our volume down a bit.
It's like every time you stop talking, sometimes it, like, you can hear it.
So we just won't stop talking.
We can't talk.
That's true. We'll stop.
We'll listen.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
Indeed. It's so good to see you guys, by the way.
Yes!
Yeah.
And I'll see you really soon, like in a couple weeks.
I know, I'm so excited! And then we can do this dressed in full anime costume.
Yes.
She's like, no.
Nina's like, no.
Me? I wasn't listening. I was just smiling. I'm not going to this, am I?
Anime North?
Oh, no, don't have tickets.
I'm gonna cry.
When is that?
Not this weekend coming up, but the next weekend?
Oh, I'm going ziplining that day.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Equally as exciting.
Cool. Maybe I'll wear cosplay while I zipline. That seems like a bad idea.
No, just Superman or something.
Wow. Tinkerbell.
Like reenact that scene from Divergent. I'll smash into a building.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't.
I feel weird that we all haven't seen it and she has.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah. Who took you? Took you.
I went with my book club.
You read the book and then go see the book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I read the book and then went to see the book.
The book.
That's exactly what I did.
Well, I mean the adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
You saw how I typed my username to them like 80 times?
But it's funny because I actually knew what you meant the first time, and then you just kept going. I already sent it out by then. I was like,
I figured you did, but I was determined at that point. We haven't talked about Allison.
Oh
my god!
Okay, so
Allison, baby.
Okay, sorry. Best cut.
yeah.
The dignity cut.
The dignity cut was the greatest thing ever.
So, as a scientist, and I don't even know that the internet actually needs to know this, but Allison is severely dehydrated based on her sample. She should probably get some fluids in her, other than alcohol. Just FYI.
I love you. Thank you.
A little dark, that's all. Anyways, moving on. Allison.
There's a little bit of both of us in that. A little cinematography, a little science.
A little science, a little cinematography.
Great. You guys are awesome. My input to this is I really hope Donnie falls off a cliff. Like
The big one.
Third Mother Jackie input.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like
Not cool, Donnie.
from who we know Allison is, now you've just told her that she doesn't get her kids anymore, and that's like huge part of her life. Probably the biggest guiding force that she's had for the last, I'm gonna go 7, 8, 9 years, and now you're like, no cutoff. Is that really the best idea at this point? I don't think so. I think a better idea is that she never sees Donnie again.
We all hate Donnie, let's be real. Collective, Donnie is like the Metatron of this thing.
Yes, you just want to punch.
Megatron of the Orphan Black fandom.
Yeah, I would happily punch him in the face.
I'd aim somewhere a little lower.
So
I think he deserves a little bit more of the hot glue gun.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And maybe a couple extra golf clubs.
Passive-aggressive vacuuming on his chest.
I would just, we still never saw the scissor wheel get used, so I'm sure she could be creative with that.
Dark!
Allison.
Those are craft scissors, though.
They don't cut that well. I was cutting vinyl today and it wasn't working.
Yeah, the ones for those. Those are meant for just like scrapbooking, basically. They barely cut paper.
Wouldn't they be good for torture, maybe? I don't know.
Go there, out of all the clones.
Allison would go there. I'm a little concerned about when Allison gets out, what's going to happen, because
Donnie?
yeah,
Hopefully death.
yeah, we don't like Donnie.
We love the actor.
I'm going to understand the We Hate Donnie Club.
Felix is gonna need a bigger bachelor pad.
Oh yeah, Felix is definitely.
I just want to say, I really hope no one is still sleeping in Felix's bed, because I feel like that's really unsanitary. And we've never seen anyone do laundry.
Honestly, yeah, he needs to wash his sheets.
Like,
There were lesbians in his bed.
I'm gonna say that when Allison came and like stress cleaned his entire apartment, she probably did the bed, but I don't think it's been done since then.
Probably not.
Her to stress clean again.
And with the number of people that have been in and out of that apartment since, and also I'm a little upset that Ramon is not going to be one of those people who's in and out of the apartment.
Good
I
old
love
Ramon.
characters. Wow, I can speak.
Can you?
No.
That's how I felt about the diner guy, and then he died really quickly.
He did. Diner guy was the best.
We were talking with other Brittany, and we're like, why do they give us these minor characters that we love, and then they die?
Sarah Stubbs gonna die, aren't you?
And the pot.
Yeah, the cop.
And
Oh. Who? No.
Which cop?
Are you talking about Ruby?
The
one that got
Hal's
shot.
friend. The small town cop that got shot last episode.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, I think his name was Tom.
That guy.
I liked him a lot when he told Daniel to basically get out of his town.
Yeah, I appreciated that. He knew Daniel was bad news.
How creepy is that family, though? Like, that family is the worst.
Yep.
Such a mess.
Also, I was expecting Daniel to die in that car, and when he popped back out, I, like, had a panic attack on the couch, and I was just like, why? But then I got excited because I realized he was going to die at the end of the episode. So, I mean, still dead.
He got to die twice.
He's like a Terminator. He just, like, won't quit. Like,
Someone was tweeting about him being a cyborg that wouldn't die, and they were just like, I hate you. I hate you. And I was like, yes, this is excellent. Like, so like, and also, I'm really, like, grossed out that he and Rachel were a thing, because people have mentioned that, and I was like, I felt like it was more of an unrequited thing, but it seems like it was requited, and I'm a little picked.
Well, I feel like Rachel's a little bit desperate for human connection.
Yeah.
you know, it's probably like a really cold relationship, right? Like, he probably lived there. They probably slept in the same bed, but they probably slept with different blankets.
Well,
Where you, like, you can remote control one side to, like, clean up and keep the other one down.
Yeah, like, there was no snuggling.
no,
None at all.
very clinical and detached was probably. Well, I mean, I guess you can tell that by her whole living space.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it was, as someone pointed out, you can't hide minimalist furniture, which is what they said about Beth's apartments. It's interesting that both of them kind of have these living spaces that were not really homey.
Yeah, but, like, both of them were kind of, like, I don't want to say given these places, but they're kind of given these places, right? So, like, it's like the girls that have kind of had different lives all have kind of really homey places.
Yeah.
And the other one was set up. Yeah, Beth's apartment it's established that it was set up by Daya, like through Paul.
But it's also interesting because they lived there for a while, and like there doesn't seem to have been anything that was added to that place.
Yeah.
So when you sort of reflect upon Beth and Paul's relationship, then it's really interesting that there were no like added touches to make it more homey, because we know that Beth loved Paul, Paul didn't love her. So how early was that sort of bleeding into the relationship that she was aware of that and like never really made this place her home?
Wow. You just made me really sad all over again.
I'm sorry. I like you dead
There was a really short moment where I thought it was Beth that might have like attacked Daniel, and I don't know why. I announced it to you.
Yeah, it's like, it's probably because I was like, Beth Scar, and you're like, watch its back.
Well, I mean, Kira said Angel, and that, you know, theoretically could have applied to Beth if people
Or
thought.
to Helena.
But it did apply to Helena. Helena. Know what your name
Well, that's the thing. Everyone calls Helena, except for Helena, who calls herself Helena.
Mm.
That's the one thing.
You know
I
what
think
it's like? Because Sarah and Felix met her first, and they have English accents, so they said Helena because...
Yeah, everyone calls her Helena except for Helena herself.
Yeah, just thought that was the way they said her name.
I don't know. Anyways.
Or Helena.
I think either is acceptable.
I would accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know who we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know.
That angel.
I feel bad that she's so aware of what happened. Like, really, like, oh my god, those flashbacks was just.
Speaking of, okay, not the flashbacks, let's flash forward a few seconds from the flashbacks and talk about art! Art! And how
Art!
That was great.
I messaged you. I was like, I love art. And I was like, I mean the man. I also like art. But that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. When Art was lurking around, I was like, oh, I hope Helena eats Art. And I'm like, then again, I hope she doesn't, because I don't want her to kill him. But I sort of got my wish. That kind of went exactly how I could have hoped.
Yeah,
You know?
like it went positively.
Best case scenario.
If anything, like, Art will just want to help her now.
I was like, say something about Sarah. Be like, I'll take you to Sarah, because I'm pretty sure Helena would have been like, no, but tell her I'm okay, and then, like, take off. So it would have been, like, a minor interaction.
No.
Or,
If he would have said anything, she probably would have stabbed him or strangled him in some way.
but I was really concerned, and I was like, please do not engage these Proletheans. And then he just, like, pulls out his badge and goes, I don't think that you're supposed to have these guns out here because your property line ends back there. And I was just like, oh.
And they all,
like, job. And they just, like, hand them off to the last guy, and he takes them back. And I was like, I feel a lot better for Helena now because she can outrun them and deal with any other weapons they have. I'm just concerned about the guns that could shoot her from a long distance. And,
Like, he's come back from a gunshot wound before.
Yeah, but now they know that her heart's on the wrong side, so I feel like they would aim better.
It's true.
Yeah, you can only play the citizen versus card once.
Yeah. Which, Nina, you and I talked a little bit about the mirroring, didn't we? So how did you feel about that situation?
Did I just spit on you?
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Okay. Well, you're actually the one who called that first, the citizen versus thing. And I think part of me was disappointed that it was the case, but then part of me felt totally, like, I don't know, smug. I was like, yes, we knew.
That's kind of how I felt, because I was hoping that it would lead more to like more clone mythology and like talking about how the clones are kind of different or like advanced. So I felt like it was like a little more pedestrian to just have it something that could be occurring in like normal humans.
Yeah, and but that is something that makes it like at least somewhat plausible, because citizen versus is relatively common. Like, I mean, I know someone with citizen versus, and actually you probably met him too. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and well, I mean, you were saying we're mirror image twins in our like handedness and a couple other little things about us, but like not organs. So I mean, it's a very common thing in twin-ish, because it's the whole like late separation kind of thing. So the weird thing is that if it happens a little bit later, you can end up as conjoined twins. So I had this brief flash of like what would have happened if Helena and Sarah were conjoined twins and like grew up and like, their personalities are so opposite. And it would just be like, it would have been a lot harder to hide them from Dyad, because how do you, like, they might have noticed you leaving the country at some point.
As horrible as it sounds, do you think that Dyad might have called them?
Sorry?
They were conjoined? Like,
Oh, yeah, they probably would have called
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably would have, because they're jerks, but...
And also because they're, I think, well, as eugenicists, they're moving towards a perfected specimen, right?
Yeah, and so clearly that would not be... Okay, that was... I'm happy now. But yeah.
As much as they're trying to solve the problems with the clones who are sick, it's like, in the grander scheme, if you recall that they're geneticists, you're like, oh, well, this doesn't play into their plan, right? If they can't correct it, then what's the point of saving it? It's technically a failed experiment.
Yeah. Which, especially, we don't know how many of the clones, like, a percentage-wise, how many of them got sick. Because if it's over, like, 50, which it seems like it is, they need to really fix that before they take the clone in the mass market.
Yeah, that's true. But there's a lot of them that are sick. They might want to sort that problem out.
Could that be why they're, like, looking for them now, though?
Maybe, to kind of track who. But you would think that most of them have been monitored. So.
Couldn't they even, like, they'd be kind of tracking them to eventually just get rid of the experiment? If it's a failed experiment?
That's entirely possible and creepy.
Terrifying.
But yeah, and then also, but what you were just saying about, like, sort of getting rid of the failed experiments, it would be kind of interesting knowing that these people have been monitored. Like, what if this was not a naturally occurring disease? What if they did something that Dyad deemed not conducive to this experiment, not furthering the experiment? Like, what if something happened with them where they were like, we don't need you as part of this experiment anymore, and so they've given them this disease to kill them off, knowing that these people are monitored.
Oh,
And,
so a good synthetic mutation. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
because they haven't yet figured out what the disease is. They have some ideas. So if it was something that was injected and like lab created, it would take them a really long time to sort of figure out what all of the symptoms are and how to cure it, because it's not something that would already, be in the textbook that you could go and look up.
Well, not to mention, in that trailer, I don't know, like when Rachel says, like, until Sarah comes here, like, Cosima's going to be kind of in this world of trouble. So, like, it kind of hints at this idea that they might have a cure, right?
It does, which is kind of crazy that Cosima hasn't been there very long, and then now all of a sudden they either have a cure or something to slow it or stop it or, like, whatever, and they're withholding it. So it seems like convenient timing. Like, Cosima shows up, and then they're like, oh, we have something that might make you better. Oh, I've done it for the whole time.
Well, I can't hear you at all. Sorry.
Now that they
You're getting garbled.
Oh, can you hear us again?
It sounded like a ghost. It was like, whoa! That's what it sounded like.
I made a bad joke. I don't think anyone heard it good.
We both make a lot of bad jokes.
A ghost joke or a best ghost joke.
Can you see Nina's face being like, why? Sorry, Nina. Yeah, I make bad ghost jokes. It's okay, you missed the one. I don't think you were here when we were talking about coughing and not cosplaying Cosima. That just being us right now.
We're both sick.
Yeah, get better.
Yeah. Well, I actually left the house today, so that was a big win.
Cabin fever.
Hmm?
Cabin fever?
A little bit, and I had to go to work finally after 5 days off, so, you know.
It's not like they were fun days off.
No, they're boring.
I wish I had those 5 days off.
See, you would think that, but then I was, like, too sick to really enjoy anything or do anything, so I was just, like, laying there pushing my foot off my face, which was kind of smothered me. So, I mean, it was relaxing, but also kind of a waste of my time.
I would shut off the fan thingy.
We can't. It's like our air conditioning fan or heating fan in the
There's
house.
no way to shut it off.
No.
We can just talk more.
We're pulling the talking, that's why.
You know what? Speaking of, nothing in particular, but there was no Paul this episode that made me sad.
And no Delphine! Why?
I don't trust Delphine.
Because Cosima doesn't want Delphine to think she's obsessing over Jennifer and watching those videos over and over and over again, so she doesn't let Delphine in the office when she's watching
Except
them.
I'm pretty sure Delphine wants her to obsess over these videos.
Yeah, she just doesn't want her to be like,
Dad, I'm gonna die.
She's still
Like-
seeing Cosima.
yeah. I don't know, I just, I'm curious about where Delphine was. Granted, it was a very small time period of seeing Cosima, but we've seen so much of them together in previous episodes that it's kind of a little weird.
Yeah, the monitor let her die by herself.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting that Cosima hasn't been moved to new housing provided by Dyad, and they're letting her just camp out in Felix's dirty bachelor pad.
Are they? Is
Well-
she staying with Delphine? Does she have a room in Dyad? We don't know.
No, but we've seen Delphine.
Oh, it's kind of annoying that Delphine knows where Felix lives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
Don't tell Leaky.
Yeah, don't tell Leaky.
No Leaky's allowed in the apartment.
But she's probably just followed them or traced their phone calls or something.
Oh my god, you guys, earlier I called Leaky Loki.
Oh, by the way, someone said that apparently Michael Mando, a.k.a. Dick the Dick, is supposed to show up in Season 2. And someone has called that maybe he will be in rehab with Allison. So I'm really excited.
Wow, I hope so.
Oh god.
He'll be like, I'll taser you again.
If Vic ever found out that Allison had, a twin, because I'm pretty sure that's the cover story they would go with, that they were, still separated at birth and Sarah didn't know or whatever, I would love to see those two personalities together in a place where they're not, can't really attack each other because they don't have weapons.
She's gonna do the nasty with Vic.
No!
I'm just thinking,
Oh, come on! It wasn't brought up for nothing. There's got to be someone in there.
there does. I feel like it was made of a very specific point, and then Allison also said, I've never done the nasty.
She totally did do the nasty in the van when she got high with.
Oh my god, Chad! Wait, what if it's Chad?
Like, you can't be the nasty if you're using sports metaphors.
Yeah, no, that was subpar suburban sex in a van.
But for Allison, though, like, that was pretty risque, because they were out in the open,
Yeah,
and
that
other
was
people
pretty nasty.
saw them. So, I mean... for Sarah, that was probably nothing, but I feel like for Allison, that's a little higher up the scale.
That's why she's never done the nasty. I feel like she might have to ask Felix what that is.
Maybe she just doesn't get the slang. No, she gets the slang. She understood what was implied.
Yeah.
But I love when Allison is just like Tinkle. Like, you're so
Proper.
yeah.
Like, well, she could barely say ass. She's
I
like,
know.
I will not sit my ass down.
The only time she hasn't had trouble was when she confronted Ainsley at the intervention and said, ''Maybe it's because you blew the roofer." It's the only time she hasn't had trouble because she was so angry, and she was just like, "No."
She was just so drugged at that point.
Yeah, that's true too. She did have little helpers.
Sorry, crinkle, crinkle.
Not food, and you can't share with us.
Yeah.
This is bad.
High fructose corn syrup.
Oh.
Nom nom nom.
Corn syrup. I want some of that.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get to know more of Allison's true personality because we've seen her on so many of her little helpers. But I wonder if if we're gonna see a big personality change in them, or even a little.
I don't know. I feel like because without them, I know we've seen her really out there, but I feel like she takes them because she's really high strung. So
Yeah. I want to see her in group therapy when she's at rehab.
Oh no!
Yes.
It's interesting though because
amazing.
it seems like the place that she's at, although it's a rehab, they also call it a spa. And so it's really it's still really hush-hush, which I feel like is, in suburbia would be necessary. But then I also have to figure that other people in suburbia know what this place is, because I'm sure they've been there. So can you just imagine all the little, neighborhood gossips being like, oh,
She's
Al's
at the spa.
yeah, spa. So,
it's weird too because it's not like a place where she's gonna get better because it's not like she can talk about what's going on.
yeah.
Like, the source of stress is not going to be removed or improved.
My clones and I are being killed off one by one.
You talked over Nina, though.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't hear what
sorry,
she said.
Nina.
Oh, sorry. It was the same thing I was saying. Just like the source of her stress couldn't be won't be removed or improved by this therapy. Like, she's still going to be completely anxious.
Yeah, and she also can't go, I'm stressed out because I killed my former best friend, and I'm worried someone will find out.
My husband's my monitor.
My husband's watching me. That might work. She could possibly go down that route, but then also, I don't know if people would think that was that weird.
My husband followed me to the cemetery.
That's weird.
But I mean, if she has a history of, abusing drugs and alcohol, then they'd be like, of course he was keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, that's true too. Oh,
Poor Allison.
poor
Yep.
Alice.
It was everyone saw her take a nosedive off the stage during Blood Ties, and I don't think anyone had any illusions that it was staged right. She was wasted.
Yeah, she was. She was wasted.
And at Ainsley's funeral, people noticed that she was
Yeah, a little. It was well wasted. I don't know, suburbia reminds me of high school and stuff, and the other women are so gossipy and rude, and I just want to because it's making it worse. So I mean, it's good that she's removed from that, but like you said, she can't talk about any of the stressors or any of the causes of her habits. So
That's why Felix and her's relationship is so beautiful. Because Felix is definitely not someone she would have befriended otherwise, and like he's perfect for her. Do you know what I mean? Like he actually really is emotionally there for her.
I know. He's the only one that is right now.
Yeah.
And that makes
Scary. I'm scared about Felix.
No, please don't be scared about Felix, because I don't want to be scared about Felix.
I'm just so glad he didn't cry this episode.
I don't know. Felix is like the Rock of Orphan Black.
That's why I feel like they'll go there. Like, I didn't have any kind of preconceived notions about this, and then Will Wheaton ruined it for me.
No, here's the thing. People have said, like, you know, what if Felix is Sarah's monitor or something? And I was like, he would be the worst monitor in the world. Like, worse than Donnie Pink Panthering through the graveyard, because he lost her for 10 months. Had no idea where she was.
Well, yeah, plus, like, when he entered her life, he was a little boy. Like, what did they have on him, right? Like, most of these people, they have something on.
Yeah, I still feel like Sarah is monitorless, or at least was for the longest time, just because, like, that's my personal opinion, just because they made such a big deal about
Finding her.
first place and finding her, because she was the lost clone. So it's like, she's not being monitored if they're so surprised that she suddenly appeared.
Yeah.
Which is weird, though, because I feel like Helena doesn't have a monitor either, right? Because, like, she was part of a whole different world that didn't...
I feel like Dyad knew she got kidnapped, so, like, when they heard that the Proletheans had some woman assassin, they were like, oh crap.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly been aware of Helena for longer, because I think that they kind of knew she was the one committing these murders, so... But yeah, I don't think Helena has a monitor either, because, again, you've been doing a terrible job, because Dyad knew nothing about this clone until she showed up killing people. So, why were they picking you? Or, like, what did they have on you because you did a terrible job?
Which is weird, though, because, like, Cosima just got a new monitor, so who was her monitor back home? We know that she left everyone, and that she's really lonely at college, or university. I guess she's in university.
Yeah,
But, like, she needed a new monitor, because she's like, oh, I guess this is my monitor, and she didn't know Delphi.
yeah, that's true. So, I don't know. I guess it really could have been, because we don't know anything about Cosima's life before, really. It could have been anyone. It could have been a friend, a friend, an ex, a current, that love interest that she is no longer with, or, like, current at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, like, a boyfriend, girlfriend, kind of significant other seems very, very trend through this.
It doesn't really trend. But also, the fact that, I mean, someone pointed out that Cosima seemed really shocked that someone would want to be friends with her, and that was what really tipped her off to Delphine, like, probably being her monitor, possibly. And that seems interesting to me, because if she was someone who didn't have a lot of friends back home, how do you put a monitor into her life if she's not someone who's, like, a normally social person? Like, how do you get someone to worm in?
Maybe it was a teacher?
Family. Probably in science club.
Science club. I could see that. Little science nerd.
She probably had the best volcano in grade 5. Or whatever grade you do that in.
Yeah, or a teacher. Like, yeah, I feel like she would have she seems like the kid that would have been, like, more palling around with the teachers than the other kids, because she would have been like, I'm so smart. I'm not going to talk to you guys about boys. Also, because I'm impressive in boys. Or not all of the time. Well, I mean, yeah, I was seeing on Tumblr too. Anyways, we were talking about the whole bi, lesbian, which road are they going down, because they seem to be bouncing around with her a little bit, which is unfortunate, because there was one interview where they said she was bisexual, but then everything recently is, like, lesbian, so
I think they just like to, I think Cosima just likes to flirt with everyone.
I don't know, I feel like Cosima wouldn't label herself either, so it's kind of weird, but
I think she just likes people. I think she definitely identifies more as being attracted to the ladies, but I think it's one of those things where she's more open to.
Yeah.
She
as people rather than as like, men or women.
Mm-hmm. I just took a class on psychology of sex and gender, so of course we were talking about Kinsey and the Kinsey scale. It's actually seven degrees from completely heterosexual to completely homosexual.
Oh, Kinsey scale?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 7 is completely homosexual. So she might be like a 6.
So, but just recall, Kinsey is based on experiences. It's not based on your attractiveness level. It's based on your experiences. So, depending on basically what degree of experiences you've had with men versus how many experiences you've had with women, that's how you would rank yourself on the Kinsey scale.
So from our experience of Cosima, we would rank her at a 7, but we have no idea what she did for the last, like, 20 years of her life.
Exactly.
So, anyways, yeah. And then, but we were talking today about the whole twin thing and, like, interesting, like, genetic identicals and, like, sexuality in twins and how that kind of, like, corresponds and whether it doesn't or not. We had another chat this morning with this girl named Anna from Tumblr who's lovely and had this whole theory about clones. And
it's online. It's called Clone Theories.
You would like it, Nina, because it got really sciencey, and then I had to leave to go to work, and I was like, well, I'm not contributing anyways.
It was still sciencey, and then it got
French and art and language. I mean,
distracted, and then we signed off.
Yeah. So. But yeah, other stuff about that. I don't know. Now I'm just getting sidetracked because I'm thinking about this morning and not now. But sorry, I'm the worst.
That's okay.
Yeah. But. Let's see. Did we talk about everything from this episode? We talked about art, we talked about Mrs. S, we talked about Helena, Sarah, Kira, knowing way too much. Kira, I'm really interested to see how that's gonna kind of play out in later episodes. Are you staring at a cat or the TV?
Salem is attacking his own tail right now. Yeah. There was also just an Orphan Black commercial on, so.
Ah, sweet. I have a theory, you guys, and it's partly based on Anna's, and it's partly based on the Lita mythology. Yes. Okay. Well,
yes,
when we were talking to Anna earlier, she was talking about how the twins, Sarah and Helena and Kira, because she's Sarah's child, seem to have stronger healing, faster, they're like stronger, faster,
better, stronger.
Starting this out.
Anyway, so, because they can run faster, their endurance is longer than anybody else's. They heal faster, like Kira's up and about, like a day after she gets hit by a car. Helena survives a gunshot that should have killed her.
Partially because of science, but biology.
Partially because, it landed in a big mess of arteries, even though it wasn't her heart. And then, so, that made me think, and I didn't have a chance to tell Anna, but they were like halfway between normal humans and Wolverines with this healing ability. Not the claws, just the healing. And, I think maybe with Project Lita with the twins, they were trying to genetically create some sort of telepathy. And that's why Kira has like a sixth sense. And that's why everyone else is like...
That's kind of insane. Interesting though. Sorry, our TV just turned on. We have a problem with our remote.
Yeah. We fixed it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Lita was mother of Apollo and Artemis?
No. It was human. Well,
hang on. Let me Google. Children. It was someone else, but it was. I don't think it was.
Castor and Pollux.
Sorry.
There's so many twins in the topic. Was it Castor and Pollux? No.
I think so.
That was twins.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get used to that. I'm Googling right now. She has. I'm just
Whoa. I just joked there.
It's fine, I understand.
What just happened?
Your video skipped, and so you went from being back here to being here, which without any transition.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's great.
She was the mother of Helen of Troy, Clytemnestra,
Menestra?
and Pollux were the twins.
Sorry?
And Castor and Pollux were the twins.
Okay, Castor and Pollux. Oh, that makes it less interesting. I was hoping it would have been Apollo and Artemis, but wait, no, those were actually full gods, not demigods. Because that would have brought in the great imagery of darkness and light and opposites. But Castor and Pollux, I'm not
Familiar?
as familiar with the mythology other than they're the Gemini twins. Like, they are the Gemini twins.
There's actually something interesting because it's saying that, and this is Wikipedia, so it might be wrong, but it said the consummation of Zeus and Leda happened on the same night that she lay with her husband, and so there were two eggs. One of them was Helen and Clytemnestra, and the other one was Castor and Pollux. So it seems like there were two sets of twins, but one of them was half immortal, which was Castor and Pollux.
Wait, so she had quads? That poor woman.
Mm-hmm. It's a little unclear. I feel sorry for her either way.
Castor just makes me laugh because of Pascal. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Terrible.
Jokes!
Yeah, I think the goddess,
Enough?
the Artemis and Apollo's mom, I think that's Leto, like Leto.
Oh, maybe.
Like and if I remember, that's the goddess of
Not being
thunder.
my homestead.
I could be mixing my mythology, so it's been a while, you guys, and I'm like super sick.
Hello. Oh, but one of them gets. Sorry, I'm still reading about Castor and Pollux because now I
No,
got.
that's okay. She got a phone call.
Oh, that's okay. One of them dies, and the other one.
Oh.
Yeah, no, wait. The other one asks Zeus to let them share. Like one of them's in this version, one of them's immortal and one of them's immortal. So the immortal one says, "Let us share the immortality," and they get turned into the constellation of Gemini. So that seems interesting. That one of the twins could die. One of them could be this like immortal one, or there could be like a weird sharing of like maybe something as simple as like a blood transfusion or something that saves one of them. Maybe it's not as
Love.
Power of love. Which I missed.
Oh, she just explained kind of what happens with the twins, that one of them dies. And then the immortal one goes, can we just share in this? And then they become Gemini.
Yay.
And so we're just talking about that it's cool that one of them could die, and then...
I just ruined my night a little bit, though, because I came in singing the Celine Dion song, and that's in my head.
It's all good. But yeah, I was just saying, like, what if one of them dies and the other one somehow saves the other one? Like, what if there's a blood transfusion or something, and, like, not as crazy as them turning into constellations, because that takes us out of our realm of science fiction and into a whole other realm, so.
Yeah, I don't think.
What would
But they could become the symbol of the dyad.
or they could become the seminal case study, which would be, you know, our world's version of constellation.
Well, they're like the poster child for nurture, because
Nurture versus nature.
yeah. Also, because they didn't have any monitors or any influence until they were like 30.
Sorry.
Sorry, I got caught up in Googling. Dyad, in reference to biology, I don't know if anyone knows this, it means a pair of sister chromatids. So it's interesting that the word it relates to sisters and you all have female clones. Like, it's only female clones that we have seen so far. Although, as an interesting side note, John and Graham, the creators of the show, did an AMA on Reddit, and somebody asked them if it would be possible in that world to have a clone that was not the same gender, and they said most definitely.
That annoyed me a bit because I know that the person who asked the question meant sex, but there was a difference between gender and sex. Technically, any of these clones could still be like XX in terms of like female sex, but they could declare themselves or identify as another gender. So that's just me being nitpicky. Obviously, I know that the asker and the respondent was both in terms of sex and not gender, but get your terminology.
No, it's okay. No, it's I wasn't reading it, but yeah, I was remembering how it had been written. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's how it had been written. I almost posted since I done Tumblr about it, but then I realized that I was just being too.
That's okay. We need to talk about these things eventually at some point. So. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I want to find out more about dyad because we found out in the whatever episode they went to the dyad meeting, and now I can't remember. Oh my god, no, I think it was the first one. Anyways, it doesn't matter how old dyad is, so I want to know what they were doing back in the good old days before the time of genetic cloning, rather. So I'm interested, like, how did dyad get started? What was their original purpose?
Yeah, and was, are the clones even part of Project Leda? Because Project Leda, the photograph that we have is from 1977, and the clones weren't born until, 85.
84.
84, I'm sorry. 84, I stand corrected.
That's okay, because we just use our age as a reference to the clones, and we go add 4.
Okay.
That's how old are the clones right now? Alright, so now we know. We still, anyways. Yeah, no, they don't know how old we are. Nobody who's watching this is basic math. I'm kidding. So, and then, also, I'm sorry, I got lost in reading, but as a side note, there's also something called a dyadic relationship. That is two people in a relationship that both have the ability to influence. We didn't even see that. Your screen froze a little bit, and you guys just fell over.
Dark Nerd?
It was 2 heads, and then it was like, boom!
1 head.
Yeah, but anyways, so dyadic relationships is 2 people that influence each other, which is weird because up to this point they haven't really, the clones and dyad haven't been interacting, and now they are. So yeah. I'm not really going anywhere with that because I don't know enough, but I just thought it was interesting, and I would point that out.
It is interesting.
It was interesting.
I'll ask this video in a few weeks and be like, Jackie was right.
She made a point. Also, we can come back to it if the dick shows up in rehab.
Yes. And they do the nasty. No! I just want to bug you guys. That hurts you so much.
Give me what did you do that hurts?
What? Saying that Vic and Allison were going to get their swerve on.
Get their swerve on. Wow.
Nina has told me that this is a swear. So
love it. Little dance. I just shoulder dance because I'm so used to being in my car, so I just dance like this. You should probably be afraid if you're driving with me. No. I think they just froze.
Did you guys freeze?
Look. They're totally frozen. Oh, darn. Okay, well, when they come back, we might want to think about wrapping it up. Oh, my goodness. That was a long chat, guys. Long chat. Oh! Hey, we're back. We're back.
We were about to leave.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't. Oh, no.
Goodbye.
Oh, no.
Were we frozen?
Yeah, you were frozen.
Well, you were frozen
for us, yeah.
So we kept talking and we were about to leave.
We kept talking and we were about to leave. I wonder which
one is going to be on the YouTube video.
Both of us, neither of us, were talking over each other. Who knows?
But, yeah. We were thinking, it's after 11. We've been here for an hour.
Yeah. Went a little longer than usual.
Nina has to finish, 5 minutes of In the Flesh.
Okay. Well, we'll let you do that, and maybe we'll chat with you next week,
Yeah.
or at some other point. That'll be good.
You can come back.
Yeah. All right. Well, at Clone Club, we will see you next week, and we will see you at some point this week with videos, other videos.
Don't
Now
pull
that
a
our voices
Daniel
have
before
recovered.
we see you next.
She made that joke with Jennifer once. It's still not funny. It's a little funnier this time.
It's
But
a lot
still.
funny, you guys. It's a lot funny.
Okay. Well, they might have frozen again.
No, they're here.
Oh, now we did. Oh, no, wait.
Oh.
I think YouTube doesn't like the swerving, so now it's turned off. No, too much.
YouTube doesn't want us to see ours.
I'm sorry, it's just...
There's swerving going on in the TV right now.
Oh my goodness. Alright, so yeah, Clone Club, we will see you later this week. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.
Hopefully when you see us next, we won't be sick either.
Yes, stay away from people named Daniel. Bad news.
May an angel watch over you. I don't know. Have a great week, you guys. Bye.
Bye.